Hello guys, welcome to a new video on Tower of God New World. And in this video, we're going to have a look at the character introduction for ALBELDA. We're going to go over the video and read our kit. We still don't have information on Revolution and exclusive equipment as usual. We're only going to find that out tomorrow during the update. I was like 100% sure the update was going to be on Wednesday as usual, but this time is on Tuesday, which is weird and I was not prepared for it. So after this video, I will release like still today the video, the character review video for Ray. And yeah, so if you're interested on whether you should pull for him or not and where is a good stopping point, then definitely watch that video as well. It's going to come out soon, hopefully. So yeah, that's more or less the plan. I will just briefly mention one thing about Ray, and that is I would recommend anyone to have at least him at 0 dupes. And then whether to invest more or not, I will say, to be honest, you can easily stop at 0 dupes unless you can get into Rainbow 5. It's true that in the middle, like 3 purple, 3 red, it gets better, but I don't think that better justifies the amount of investment for someone that doesn't have the means, like, or that would have to waste all their resources just to get to 3 purple. No, you still want to save some additional resources for future units. And also, this guy, a max investment, I will already say he has more damage than basically all other units in the game while being a support. But I can feel that a future unit that's going to be a mage or a ranged unit or an assassin will out damage him fairly easily if that unit is obviously a family head level. So the next EX rarity unit will out damage him fairly easily, I feel. Like his damage is insane, don't get me wrong. Like if you fully invest in him, is going to be the strongest unit we have in the game currently, but is not at a level that I don't see other units being able to outperform him, if that makes sense. So I see this as being like a super hyped unit because it's the first family head that we have, and we might not get the next one for, I think, at least 6 months probably. So he's super safe if you have the means to max him out. You should definitely go for him. But if you don't or you're uncertain, get him at 0 dupes and then wait. I think that's the better move from my point of view. So this is just a preview, but I will talk more in detail in his character review video. So yeah, back to ALBELDA. Let's have a look at the, well, first the preview. She's going to be a red support, as we already knew. And we're going to have a look at the kit. Yeah, I would say we can have a look at the video first, and then we can read the description of the skills. So let's just have a look, if it loads, hopefully. Okay, yes. All right. You're probably not hearing the audio. My bad, I didn't really enable it, but okay. This is an AoE attack. This is some sort of buff to a unit, and this is some sort of invincibility to a unit from just the look of it. But we're going to see more in detail now that we read the kit, and maybe we will have a second look at the video again. So yeah, let's go below. We can start from the passive as usual. At the start of the battle, ALBELDA applies Power of Spirits to the nearest ally that isn't a summoned being and increases their attack and defense by a percentage over attack and defense. So her stats are going to be super important, which is a bit unfortunate from my point of view. Obviously, it would have been better if the stats increase was based on the target, because if they're an offensive unit, they would get more attack that way. If they were a defensive unit, they might get more defense that way. And especially if you're buffing, for example, Ray, he would get, like, he has way higher stats than the other units. That would have been a bigger buff, but we still don't know the percentages. Maybe it's like 200% of ALBELDA stats. That would still be good. And we have to remember that supports have the attack percentage node in the subnodes for Revolution, so that's also a good thing, I would say. Definitely, they're going to have more attack than a warrior unit, unfortunately, but yeah, okay, whatever. So If the ally dies, she finds another nearest ally and applies Power of Spirits to them. Albelda becomes immune to status effects while applying Power of Spirits, so that cannot be interrupted, basically. In addition, Albelda cannot be targeted until all allies are dead, but she also cannot use skills if there is no ally with Power of Spirits, so she's just useless if she's left alone. And she cannot be targeted, but she could still be hit by attack, which is, again, a bit unfortunate, but still, this is a good passive overall. The fact that it applies to the nearest ally is a bit like confusing. Like, how is it going? If you put her in the center of the front row, who is she going to buff? I have no idea. There will probably be a cast time of sorts, so I would say the slowest one of the two, or maybe if they're both quick units and they just move away, maybe she will buff someone from the backline. I have no idea. We will just have to see when she's live. Then we have the first active skill. Albilda summons swords for herself and allies with power of spirits. Here it says allies, but it's obviously single target. Only one can have it at a time unless they increase the limit with the exclusive achievement or revolution, but for now, only one unit, which block all enemy attacks a certain number of times. Sword of protection lasts for a certain number of seconds and disappear when the number of blocks is used. Now here, I'm wondering if she can block attacks also taking into, like, for example, a Garam passive, so the bell, can that be considered an attack and be blocked? Can the special move of Anniversary Iwa be considered an attack and be blocked because that one doesn't deal any damage? So I'm wondering how that would apply, because if you can block buff removals or those kind of attacks, that would be insane. And we also need to have a look at how many attacks you can block, because if it's like 15 attacks, that could be cool also to block Trauma Ray special move. If it's like 5, then you know it's not really going to be as important, but definitely good. And we also need to see the duration, if you can keep it up 100%, which would be helpful since she cannot be targeted. And the only way to hit her would be AoE attacks that she can then block with his active skill. We don't know. Again, we'll have to see after she's released. Then the second active skill, Albilda deals a percent of her attack as damage near to the closest ally. That's the first active skill that we saw in the video. So the ally with the power of spirits, and is going to lock them for a number of seconds. And she's then going to decrease the target's attack and defense by percentage. So she has a defense decrease. Pretty cool, I would say, as a buff for your team. So she already has ways to protect your allies, to nerf the enemies, and just to buff your allies as well. That's overall okay, but right now I still feel like Anak is a better unit from that point of view. But let's have a look at the special move. With the special move, Albelda enhances the power of spirits applied to allies to additional enhance stats by a percentage. Here it says stats, not attack, defense, HP, or something like that. So I'm guessing it also increases spears, resistances, evasion, accuracy, whatever stat can be increased this way. Maybe it also applies to swiftness. I don't know. If that's the case, that's massive. It will obviously depend on the percentage, but I doubt it's going to be anything lower than 20% at level 1 and maybe 40% at level 5, if that really applies to every single stat. If it's more than that and still applies to every single stat, that's massive. But it's single target buff, so again, kind of depends. Is also going to remove all debuffs and status effects from the target and grant them invincibility for a number of seconds. Also here, we need to see how long the invincibility is going to be. And if it's long enough and you can kind of chain the special move, that would be insane. But yeah, obviously that's going to be pretty tricky. And our build is immune to status effects while using the skill. Good, so it cannot be interrupted. Pretty nice special move, I will say. My main concern with her kit is that she is single target. And the fact that there is no energy increase is also a bit concerning, because what makes Mamanak strong is the energy she provides. So she provides attack increase, attack speed increase, resistance increase. She provides invincibility. She provides energy. This is Mamanak. So a lot of stuff from an SSR tank unit. This is an SSR plus support unit. And she's provided like okay buffs. These are not bad, but it's still single target. It's true you can kind of pick the target a bit better due to not being restricted to highest attack ally, but you can buff the nearest ally, which could be tricky depending on how and when the target is picked. But yeah, this could potentially be a great unit, considering we don't have information on exclusive equipment and revolution yet. So anything could still happen. She could gain additional buffs or additional energy regen. We don't know. But so far, the kit is at the very least good. So she's not going to be a useless unit. You can easily find a slot for her. And yeah, I thought she was going to buff Viola a bit, but looking at the kit alone, that doesn't really seem to be the case. It's okay, it's beneficial because Viola is quite squishy when he's not invincible from the special move, and this can provide him with additional survivability, but I don't see the damage increase needed unless again the enhanced stat is like an 80% of your all your stats. That would be massive, but that would be even better for like an Evankel or I don't know. Unless again Evankel moves too quickly, so she's going to buff the backline. Maybe I don't know. It really depends when she targets the nearest ally unit. She like could even be that she cannot buff Evankel at all, so you are kind of forced to use Viol pretty much with her in the red element if we're talking about red element alone. Obviously, in other teams, she could be a lot stronger. There could be a lot more synergies, but in red team alone, might very well be that she's going to work only with Viol or something like that. We'll see. But yeah, for sure, the kit is interesting. I still don't feel like she is more impactful than a Mamanak, but again, we're lacking Revolution and exclusive equipment that could change this judgment of mine. So far, I'm quite excited for this unit, and I really hope she's going to be good. And at this point, I will also say that I will be streaming tomorrow, probably around 6:30 Central European Summer Time, something like that. Probably a bit before, yeah, I think maybe 6. We'll see, we'll see. I will let you know better tomorrow or after I actually schedule it. But yeah, that's more or less the plan. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.